On the 29th of January this year, at about 6:30 p.m., my wife came up to my room and said there are some gentlemen that knocked and just walked into the room, dark-suited, walked into the door. They want to see me. They said I'm expecting them. I came downstairs in my jalabia, no hat, and flip-flop. And they said they are from the EFCC. They've come to take me to the EFCC. I said, guys, you haven't even introduced yourselves. So they just brought out their badge and said, oh, they're EFCC. Show me arrest warrant. Oh, we don't need that, sir. Okay? Allow me to go upstairs, change. They blocked me. They didn't let me. Allow my wife to go upstairs and bring me some change of clothing. They refused. We went outside. As we went outside, their bus was waiting outside. The driver was sitting. The engine was running. And there were 5 armed mobile policemen, some deployed behind the house, thinking I would run. I'm not a runner. So we went in, and I was sandwiched between an armed Mopol and a young operative. And they were high-fiving themselves as if they had captured notorious Kachela Bello Turji. We went to the EFCC, went to the office of their boss, and he handed me a bunch of papers. What are these? These are your charges. Well, I don't need the charges if I don't have my lawyer here. Well, the guy was waiting to go home, and my battery had gone down, and I couldn't call my wife and to tell her where I was and how I was, and they wouldn't let me call her, and they just took me to the cells. Nobody had told me whether I was going to stay, why I was there, how long I was going to be there. They just took me around the building to the cells. Entered the cells. Well, a lot of them were youth. They recognized me from the previous brouhahas in Nigeria, and they came up to me wishing me good luck and best wishes. I had serious headache because, remember, I had fasted for over 14 hours by then. I hadn't eaten or drunk anything. They brought me a sachet of pure water and tea. I drank and went to sleep. And then the next morning, they took us to, they called my name out. We were going to court. We went into the bus. Well, when we came out of the building, they had placed their official photographer to be taking photographs of me without hat, in jalabia, in flip-flop. That was when I realized these guys are up to no good. All they're interested is to demean me, dehumanize me, and weaken my spirit. They don't know who they're dealing with. We went into the bus, and I was jokingly telling them, guys, haven't you forgotten the chains and the manacles? They busted out laughing and said, oh, our guy, it hasn't reached to that. We went to court, and they were not ready. We had to come back to the EFCC again, and they upgraded me from 4 of us in the room to I alone in a cell. I was there in the EFCC for 6 days. After that, I was arraigned in court, and then the judge did not give me bail. Her reason, well, she had a cold. I was put back to Kuje. I was in Kuje for 24 days. Denial of bail 2. Anybody accused is wrong, because bail is a constitutionally guaranteed right of anybody accused, except if it was a capital offense or the person is suspected of terrorism. Mine was neither of those. I was denied bail deliberately by this government to shake me up. And I was put in Kuje for 6 days and 24 days in EFCC for 6 days and 24 days in Kuje to shake me up and silence me. But no, I'm no one to be silenced. In Kuje prison, I wrote my experiences and told this government that 6 days in Kuje and 24 days 6 days in the EFCC and 24 days in Kuje will not silence me. The whole purpose is President Bola Tinubu's government trying to silence any dissent to his government. And this coming from a president who was an IDECO activist himself, who fought the military, who ran across the border and ran away from the military. And when he came back, he never gave neither Jonathan nor Obasanjo, not even Buhari, he never gave them peace. He was criticizing them. Criticizing a government in a democracy is a legitimate right of every citizen. And President Bola Tinubu is trying to stifle dissent in this country, and is trying to make this country a one-party dictatorial state. We are not going to let that happen. We'll continue to speak up. We'll continue to raise our voices, because silence in the face of evil is itself evil.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
The first one, I'll tell you, the first one is already explained it. The EFCC are playing the attack dogs of this government. There is nothing. There is nothing. If the EFCC, the current leadership of the EFCC had done their due diligence, I have a huge file in the EFCC, 9 years. When I was during one of my suspensions, I was sitting in the room. I got a call from the acting chairman of the EFCC at that time, Ibrahim Magu. Never met him, never spoke with him. Called me over, come to the commission. I came to the commission. In the conference room, he had assembled his senior staff. He walked in briskly and said, Prof, after introducing himself and the gentleman in the room, he said, Prof, hand over all papers, all documents related to any monies, any infractions by HMO, banks, or anybody will get their money back. He walked away. True to his words, Ibrahim Magu's EFCC swung into action and recovered billions from banks, from HMOs, for the NHIS. And he was gracious enough when they were transferring the first tranche of money they got back to the then executive secretary. He mentioned my name and my effort. And he signed it himself, which is very unusual. He didn't have to sign it. It meant something. He signed it. It was that paper we tendered to court. That if this gentleman was given a letter of commendation by this same commission for helping the commission to recover billions, and you're telling him he stole millions, NHIS, people don't know, Nigerians don't know, I was in control of more money in the NHIS at that time, real solid, cold, hard cash, than most governors. If I wanted to steal money, I would have done that. My fight in the NHIS was public at that time. When I came to the NHIS, nobody could tell me how much money NHIS had. The year prior, September 2025, the federal government had given a directive that all MDAs should transfer the monies from commercial banks to the TSA in the central bank. When I came, nobody could tell me. So I commissioned an independent financial firm to audit all NHIS accounts. When they presented the report to me, over 13 commercial banks were holding NHIS money in their vaults illegally, over 100 billion. That is 100 billion of Buhari's time, not Tinubu's 100 billion. Over 100 billion. I compiled that report and gave it to all the officials. I presented that to my board. I showed it to my minister. I gave it to everybody that needed to know. So it is that money that Magu's EFCC was recovering. And the HMOs, my fight with them was public, was fierce, was messy, because they were not doing what they were supposed to do. They were holding on to people's money they were supposed to pay for people's health. So my fight with them was very public, and my fight in the NHIS, in the EFCC, ICPC, even the presidency, everywhere. I didn't come to Nigeria to steal money. I have better things to do. I wasn't brought up that way, and I don't bring my children up that way. People that steal money in government do not talk. They do not speak up. They're quiet, so they don't come after them. So it's now President Bola Tinubu's time. Oh, this guy is talking too much. Get this guy, go to the EFCC, dig something up. I'm not a politician. I'm not one of those politicians that have stolen money, that you dig up things and shake him up and silence him. Speaking up, we'll continue to do that because it's our responsibility as citizens. We have seen a better Nigeria. In Nigeria, we owe a debt of gratitude too. What we are seeing now, we will not allow to continue. Thank you very much. The other question, why did President Buhari let me go? Yes. Well, I had a sit-in with President Muhammad Buhari. I was suspended in the NHIS twice. Why? Because I did not allow those that wanted to partake in the buffet of corruption I met. I didn't allow that. And they were fighting me all over the place, from the unions who were their foot soldiers, to the HMOs, to the banks, to the ministry, to the National Assembly. Everybody, instead of them to do what is right and do the job of the NHIS. The NHIS has the potential to do a lot of good. The NHIS is the CBN of healthcare. It has the potential to positively impact our people, only if that potential is harnessed. But nobody wanted to harness that. Everybody wanted to take part in that corruption, and I refused, and that was my fight. I didn't know, unbeknownst to me, a cleric went and spoke with the president, and I would hold the name of that cleric. That was when he came back from hospital. But you need to listen to this gentleman. I went and sat down with the president, and I told Mr. President, you gave me this job without knowing me, without ever seeing me. And I made a promise to God Almighty, not to you, that I was going to be a good custodian of that which I'm entrusted with. So help me God. And that is what I'm going to do. You gave me this job, Mr. President, and you have the power to fire me now, before I get out of this room. But my honor and integrity I have earned over my lifetime. And I will fight anyone who tries to impugn that. And my fight now, this going to court is a continuation of my fight in the NHIS. Anybody trying to impugn my honor and integrity, which I've earned over my lifetime, I will fight fiercely. And I will unapologetically do that fight. Just like we did in the NHIS, we'll continue to do that. Well, so why did President Muhammad Buhari, I was suspended twice, and at the end, the DSS advised the presidency you better handle this NHIS case, because it was heating the polity. Things were getting hot. The press, everybody was. So what did they do? The SGF at that time, they gobbled up a committee they called Presidential Committee, and they sent me on what is it, leave. They called everybody. They called me. This was photographed. If they want to check it, they can go and check it. They called me. They went to the minister. They called the board. They called HMOs. They called staff of the NHIS. Everybody. President Muhammadu Buhari wanted to have a clean slate. I think he didn't have the stomach to continue the fight. When I came, I thought the fight against corruption was real. So he let everybody go. He didn't only let me go, he let the board go, and the honorable minister did not come back the second time. So it was a clean slate for everybody. So for me, fighting corruption, I've been in the trenches, and I've been doing that, and will continue to do that, and speak up against injustice and tyranny.
Thank you, Professor Usman.
You listen to that? Professor Usman. Professor Yusuf Usman. You see, and this is what APC government is all about. Using EFCC or police to harass people, to abuse people, abuse of power, because people speak or criticize this failed government. They don't have shame, they are shameless, because they know they have failed. There's nothing they can do again to try silence the critics or to shut them up. That's what they are doing. They are not going to succeed, because how many can you shut up? You listen to what he said, his experiences, he was arrested and he's explaining. That's what happened to him. Now he's back again. He will continue to speak. Now he's back, he's out. He'll continue to speak about this EU government, because government have failed. When they know they have failed, there's nothing they can do again. They start looking for who to bring. They used 2 years to bring Buhari. They'll continue to bring Buhari. Right? Anybody who speak about the government, they'll bring the person. When they see that he has voice, his voice is loud, he speaks, people listen to him. They'll try and see how they can shut him up so that he will not come again, so that others will be scared. We are not going to be scared again. We are not scared. Using the EFCC. The EFCC, the major work now that EFCC can do is to abuse people, abuse working class boys. That's the only thing you see they do. We hear on social media. Yes. And I tell you, for whatever accusations, whatever, if this is true or not, I don't know. If this man, even if this man have trial, is going to trial, is found guilty of this. If this man decamp to APC now, he's not a politician. He's not. Doesn't. If he join the APC now, the matter, they'll forget about it. They forget about it. That is to say, the EFCC is not fighting corruption. Because if you are fighting corruption, we know where the corruption now. E.g., Yaya Bello is still there, isn't it? I say it's free. Now, EFCC, when Tinubu, anybody who Tinubu hatred, when they try to approach the person, bring the person to them, they will start threatening the person to join. If you didn't, they'll look for a way to frame you up or to just bring issue of money laundering to you. By the time you are scared. Oh, basically, some people are scared of arrest, like EFCC. Then they will decant. That will motivate them, like, to join the APC so that their sins will be forgiven. E.g., Ukowa, former governor of Delta State, right? Last month, 2 months ago, he was accused of money laundering, 1.3 trillion naira. He came. The next thing now, the matter will stay ongoing, or they are still investigating your work. Now, he decamped to APC. Now, his sins have been forgiven. That matter has died down. There's nothing anybody can do about that case again. Yaya Bello is APC. There's nothing you can do. So, every time you see EFCC are talking about corruption, the money, they recover this money, go and check. They are not politicians. Or even if they are politicians, they does not belong to the ruling party of APC. No. They are opposition party. Trying to use that one to silence them, because obviously when you are going through trial in the EFCC, you understand, you go to jail. Can you be speaking and criticizing government in jail? No. That's what they are doing. That's what they did to this man. And I thank God he's out. APC has failed. Accept your brain, accept your failure. Is a scorecard. So, good or bad, you went to school to write exam. Good or bad, they'll give you your score. Now they are giving you your score. Your score for these 2 years is 0. 0/10. Right? Accept it. Then work harder in these 2 years so that you can come up instead of 0/10. So that at least the only thing you can do, you can come up like 3. Yeah, so that you can get 3/10 because you are failed. And there's nothing you can do again. There's nothing you can do again within these 2 years to return this country back to where it was before. There is no magic to it. It's not going to be possible. It's not. And I've been saying it. And this is what the best thing they can do. Every time you hear EFCC, they arrested over how many youth? How many youth? They said they are the problem of the country. A hacking system, stealing money, taking money from these people. For what? Every time you see youth are being displayed on televisions. Now that one, now the day on social media, now the day media houses. Now that one, media houses, they talk about politicians who stole money, who stole the future of this country, who stole what belonged to us with the youth. Now makes all looking for a way to feed ourselves. Then we become the victims of the country. Those people who stole our future, they are not the problem. They are not the problem because EFCC cannot do them nothing. Now how much you get for your bank account where you want to do case with EFCC? Who you know? Do you know person? Now the problem is that's why this country remain. Anyways, please share this video. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be your guy. Run out for me now. Please follow this page now. I'll be your guy. This is my new page now. My other page get issue. Please follow me on this if you like what I do.